What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the podcast. Hope you're all doing well. This is episode 38 of the Cleveland Pulse podcast. As always, I'm your host, Justin Harold, and with me, my co host, Jeff Santa. Today, we are talking about the Browns' playoff loss 22-17 against the Kansas City Chiefs. A heartbreaker, of course, with the season now being over for the Browns, but what a season it was for the Browns. I mean, 12-6, if you had told me that this would be the year that we go to the playoffs and we win a game in the playoffs and end up losing to the previous champions, I'd tell you I'd be pretty damn happy with that. And obviously I'm still kind of reeling from that game because there are points that we'll talk about throughout this podcast about where I really thought we could have brought it back and won this game, but in the end it didn't happen. And it is what it is. But Jeff, how are you feeling about everything, and what are your thoughts?
I'm doing great. It's definitely a little bit bizarre because for the majority of our lives, it's almost like a relief when the NFL season is over. When Week 17 is done, because the Browns are usually have a lot to look forward to in the offseason, which is still the case, believe it or not. But this is definitely a weird feeling of how much of a fun season this really was, and that it's over. There's really nothing to look forward to. There's not a game next week, and we don't get to see our boys playing, next Sunday. But I mean, talk about just a great year. Couldn't ask for much more. Absolutely, the best case scenario on almost all facets. Didn't get the end goal done, but only one team gets the end goal done. So, and we lose to the defending champs, like you said. So really nothing to be hanging our heads about. Big off season ahead.
Yeah, and so we'll start with diving into the game. So obviously we had a pretty rough start. Obviously 3 points for an entire half is not what the Browns are used to when starting the game. Offensively, I was very upset with the game plan in the first half. Not enough rushes by Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Not even a single touch for Kareem Hunt. Bizarre. Baker Mayfield, I felt like he was really slinging the ball. I think Nick really just he got going in the second half, but he really kind of struggled today or yesterday. And in that game, you had two drops that usually Nick, he's pretty solid all around. You can trust him to do almost everything you ask of him. But those two drops kind of big in that first half, and then a penalty, a 20-yard pass to, I think it was Njoku or Hooper at the time, that gets called back, and you end up going 3-and-out on that drive. Just offensively, not a great drive. And, we can't even really talk about the defense in this game because we all know that we're a bottom 5 defense playing with a top 5, top 10 offense. And so with Patrick Mahomes in the game, you knew that they were going to score points. You knew the Chiefs were going to score points. And even when they went out, Chad Henne was still able to move the ball against our defense. And it just, getting into that third and fourth quarter, we looked a lot better offensively. Thought we started running the ball, and Baker was still doing his thing. But before we go any further into that, Jeff, what were your thoughts on the first 3 quarters? Because I feel like the fourth quarter, there's quite a bit to talk about.
Right. So the first 3 quarters, I guess I'll start with Baker, and honestly just starting with the team. Just the arching message is that this was just great playoff experience. Finally, you got to get guys playoff experience. So they've played 8 quarters of playoff football. The majority of the people that will hopefully still be on our team next year, and against good teams, we didn't really have a pushover, obviously, in either games. A Pittsburgh Steelers team that was 11-0, one of the better teams in the league for the majority of the year, and then the defending champions, without their Super Bowl MVP quarterback for some time in the game. But the first half, I mean, I honestly, for how bad our defense is, I thought we actually did a better job. It wasn't good. It was not good, but we did a better job than I thought we were going to do. If you would have told me pregame they only have 19 points at half, I would have been like, that's kind of cool, honestly. I was disappointed in our run defense because I'm on Twitter. You know, I wake up probably 8 or 9 o'clock. I'm on Twitter looking to see if Edwards-Helaire's playing. He's out. That boosted my spirits so much. I was like, Lev Bell hasn't really done anything for them all year. You know, he's still there. And then this Williams guy runs all over us. You know, his stats probably don't reflect it, but their running attack should have not been that good. And those are the teams that have been giving us problems all year long. I mean, if we don't defend the run, it's tough. And they probably didn't even have a lot of rushing yards, but there was a one Patrick Mahomes scramble that was on one healthy leg, which was brutal. And then obviously the fourth quarter Henny scramble. But I mean, when we saw last week playing Pittsburgh, you know, they didn't run the ball very well. We beat them. So I was disappointed in the run defense. And for the first 3 quarters and for the whole game, honestly, I was very disappointed in the play calling. At some points in time, I think our best drive of the game was the fumble out of the back of the end zone. And we didn't even score. And I think it was our best drive of the game. We went sideline, dime ball from Baker to DPJ. And then we went tight end over the middle, and then we went Higgins. Then we went like 3 back-to-back plays, back-to-back. There were 20 yards, and we didn't even score. I thought it was our best play calling drive. I was disappointed in the play calling. Too many screens to Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, I agree with you that it wasn't good, but the way that they played the game, they didn't let any big shots happen. In terms of, you know, they never aired the ball out. And that's also another thing that I want to talk about with the Browns offensively moving. We'll get to that later. But the way Joe Woods had planned that game up, it was actually a solid game plan. The problem is the players on that defense are not guys that will return next year. I doubt that half the starters on this team this year will be back next year, or at least in starting roles next year.
The free agents, I don't really want any of them back, honestly.
Did you see the list of 17?
Yes. Well, no, I saw the list of like 7 on Twitter, and it was like, I'm pretty sure you liked it or something, or I don't know. It was somehow, I'm sure you probably saw it, but it was like the only person I wanted back was Higgins, and it was like Higgins, Vernon, Goodson, a couple of other of our defenders.
See, I don't even want Goodson back. I will pull up that list of 17. I have, I think, 5 to 6 players that I want back. It's not necessarily that they're starters, but I think they're role players. Or
it was the list was Higgins, Ogunjobi, Goodson, Mitchell, Parkey, Lamb, and Vernon, and I only really want Higgins back. We got to re-sign Higgins.
Yeah. I'll get to what I think about that a little bit later on, but you know, just going back to the game for right now, defensively, a good schemed up game in terms of what happened. Just lacked the players and lacked the skill to, you know, enforce it a little bit more. But, you know, moving into that fourth quarter, man, that fourth quarter, when you get the notification that Patrick Mahomes is out and, you know, the Browns, they looked really good. They went down, scored 7 in the third quarter, almost right away, or not right away, after their first drive, after Baker threw interception. He's really good at bouncing back after the times he's done it this season. But I'm sorry, I'm losing. They drove for the majority of the third quarter. They had an 8-minute, almost, I want to say 18 to 20 play drive.
It was 19 plays.
From the third quarter going into the fourth quarter, scored at like the top of the fourth quarter, and then you get a 3 and out, or you don't get a 3 out. You somehow force them to punt, and you have 8 minutes left on the clock. And I'm thinking, we just had an 8-minute drive. Let's do it again. And I think everyone was in the mindset of either one or two things could have happened there that you would have been happy with. The Browns score really quickly and they take the lead, and you force Chad Henne to beat you, which I don't know that he could have done it because he aired a pass out to Carl Joseph in the back of the end zone for no good reason. But it was that, or it was drive the ball methodically and take as much time as you can. And they were doing that. But they got to that fourth down. And when, like, you know, it's 4th and 9. And in any case, if that's a regular game, maybe punting it's okay. But this is the playoffs. You're going up against Kansas City, who, even regardless of missing Patrick Mahomes, has weapons everywhere. And it is a dangerous thing to give Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Le'Veon Bell, McCole Hardman, all these dudes on that team the chance to beat you. And for me, I was I was very upset with punting the ball on 4th and 9. I really thought that it was just a drive where you kind of go for it continuously. And
Yes.
uh,
It didn't make sense either way because the 4th and inches, we were on our own 30 or like 25,
mm-hmm.
and we went for it, which, I mean, I hope you could get inches, but at the end of the day, we've seen the Browns not been able to do that. And if you give the ball, if you turn the ball over there, that's basically game. And I totally thought it was going to be a go for it all drive, or we should have just punted on the inches with 6.5 minutes left. We went for it on 4th and inches and then ended up putting 2 minutes later, 90 seconds later, which made no sense on 4th and 9. But that was what I was disappointed with the play calling. Contrast this with the Steeler game. Yes, our defense gives us a lot of good scoring opportunities in the Steeler game, but our 3rd downs were all manageable in the Steelers game. From what I remember, the touchdown to Jarvis was like a 3rd and 5, and he got loose for a touchdown. Every 3rd down yesterday felt like it was 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 28, 3rd and 15. And what was also upsetting is the Chiefs really didn't play that clean. They played sloppy. 7 penalties for 55 yards. We were fortunate to be in that game, even with Chad Henne in, because they don't get any points off the interception. And I do agree with you. Baker did a good job bouncing back. I'm glad he definitely has matured since, the Steelers game, because that was almost the same play where Minkah Fitzpatrick ran it back for a pick 6. We stop him, and then they don't get any points off of it, and then he comes back and bounces back. But no manageable 3rd downs. And the 4th downs, we were going for 4th and inches, and our defense can't. If it's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, our defense can't get a stop.
Right. And I think the other problem with why punting it in that situation was worse than what people might have expected at that moment is that we had one timeout because of bad clock management, which I thought was a problem almost all day.
Yes.
It was kind of like
the fans.
I understand the not wanting to give it back to Patrick Mahomes, but I thought it was a problem all day. And 2, really, really bad call to throw a flag on that Tyreek Hill catch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. A lot of the time I wonder, like, all right, is there someone up in the booth that's, watching all these plays on the the replays or what, and calling down and saying, hey, Kevin, throw the flag. Because if someone up top is making that call, shame on them. Kevin, he's
especially when they missed one earlier. I honestly think we were pressed because we missed the one earlier, and I don't even know if it was I don't even know if that was the first half or the second half.
It was first half.
If it was first half, and then he probably went in the locker room and was like, "Oh, we missed that." So I think he got pressed to throw the red flag on that one. But I don't know, man. Tyreek Hill's just a monster.
Yeah. And so you're left with one timeout with 4 minutes left, and a team that offensively is studly, just like ours. Kevin, and this is the one point that I've made to you continuously throughout the year, Jeff. Coaching matters so much. And Kevin Stefanski was the lesser of the coach yesterday than Andy Reid. Andy Reid on 4th and 1. I'm thinking run the ball 1,000%. This defense does not do well with teams that run the ball. But they wind it down. Everyone's thinking either they're going to call a timeout or they're going to, try to get us to go off sides. And a quick out route to Tyreek Hill. I mean, that's just ballsy on Andy Reid's on his, play
that's
calling.
That's a do or
and
die
everything.
play. If Tyreek Hill falls over on that route, I mean, you might be getting Kansas City Chiefs fans might be hosing Andy Reid, but I mean, he looks like a genius, so you got to respect him. But nobody, even Tony Romo, didn't think that ball was getting snapped, and our defense was all flat-footed. Not like you're going to guard that anyway, even if you're ready with Tyreek Hill, because he literally is the fastest guy in the NFL. But I mean, that throw could have been behind him. There was a lot of stuff that could have went wrong there. But you got to even respect Andy Reid for just trusting his backup. Like that's what you trust your backup to come in and do. Just hold the lead.
Yep, absolutely. And I think the most disappointing part of that game for me, regardless of the Rashard Higgins dumbest rule in football, also missing a helmet-to-helmet play, regardless of all of that, my biggest disappointment from that game is Baker Mayfield did not get a chance to lead a 2-minute offense drive to go win the game. And I think it speaks volumes that Andy Reid, I thought 4th and 1, I was going to go for it if I was the coach. I was going to run the ball. I think they were on their side or our side of the field, but you know, that I think it speaks volumes that he didn't want to give Baker the chance to do what he did against Cincinnati and, have a chance. But at the end of the day, 17-22,
Game.
We played well. We played okay, I guess.
We played good, but we didn't play good enough to win, though.
No, I don't.
And you got to shout out their defense. Their offense is all glitz and glam. You never hear anything about their defense. Their defense is good.
Yeah, I think they have leaders on the defense, and they have leaders in the right spots. Tyrann Mathieu, he used to be the kind of like all talk kind of guy where he played out of his mind and he kind of talked himself up a lot, and now he's transitioned into being a culture changer and a kind of leader on that defense. And so shout out to him. Yeah, they are absolutely. And, shout out to them. Great game. That's a great team. It's a team that's, they have Patrick Mahomes next week. They're probably going to the Super Bowl. But there's a lot to be said about the Browns in this season. And if I can make one more point on, this game in general, I think this was the first time in the entire season since he's been out that I kind of missed OBJ. And the reason I say that is because, Baker, I think it happened maybe, and I have bad memory in terms of these games because I can't remember every single play, but
at the same time, I kind of disagree though, but go on.
I have 2 plays that I can remember where Baker actually airs the ball out. Like it goes up and comes down. A lot of the time, Baker is like beaming these balls to people 20 yards down the field. But there's the DPJ catch from this week where Baker airs it. And there's the Rashard Higgins where he airs it in the Titans game for a touchdown. And those are the only 2 times. And I guess you can say, yeah, he aired it out on the DPJ, however long that touchdown run was in the Titans game. But he was just like wide open. The ones where Baker fits it in the pocket of a dude running down the sideline is a testament of his ability to throw the ball and something that you just didn't see a lot because I don't know that you have guys that consistently do that. And so, the one point I can make about every team that's still in the hunt for the championship right now is they have one player that draws that kind of attention. You have Devontae Adams in Green Bay, you have Chris Godwin or Mike Evans in Tampa Bay, you have Stephon Diggs in Buffalo, and you have Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. I don't think that you're throwing a ball like that to Travis Kelce, but Tyreek Hill. I think you need to have, and it's not like I'm, complaining about Jarvis Landry and Rashard Higgins and Donovan Peoples-Jones play. I just think there's a reason that Odell Beckham Jr. garners that attention, and I'm hoping that next year, and this is something that we can definitely get into more when we talk about free agency and stuff like that. But I just think for me personally, and I know we didn't do a pregame, but I'm sure you wanted to talk about Odell and the tweet and everything because everyone wanted to. But I think for once this is the one time I missed Odell, and that's that. That's all I got on what I can say about the rest of that game. But any of your thoughts?
I agree with you that every team left has like the number one, like clear cut number one, but OBJ's never even really been that for us. Yes, I think it at the same time of saying it probably would have been nice to have him. I honestly don't think it would have been just because how the first half went and how the play calling went. It's 19-3. And this is the difference. Honestly, this is the difference between OBJ and somebody like Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, they show him on the bench pushing a coach going into the timeout, shoves a coach, and then they're sitting next to each other on the bench when they come back from commercial break, and he don't take that out onto the field with them. OBJ is losing his mind on the sideline, takes it out on the field with them. If we would have been down 19-3 and Stefanski's calling screens to Chubb and screens to Hunt, I think OBJ might have been losing his mind in the locker room at halftime, which I'm not really interested in. And at the end of the day, our wide receivers, even with OBJ, sometimes are third option. It's mostly the running game, and in this game, it was the tight ends. When David Njoku is your best offensive weapon, for basically the whole game, that's not really. I'm not really hype about us performing very well. If somebody goes, "Oh, David Njoku is probably going to be our most explosive player this game," I'm kind of like, "Oh, that's kind of we're probably screwed."
Yeah,
He played good, but I don't think that's our MO. I don't think one guy is really changing the game for us. Yes, he's drawing attention. Yes, he could be our deep ball, but he's not like that fast. He's not like a great route runner, and he's not that fast. He just, he hasn't even really excelled that much for us besides drawing one other guy.
Yeah, and that's, again, we can definitely get into that more later. So I want to pull up the list of 17 really quickly, just to kind of put out who's going to be on the move and who's wearing what. So we have,
and I think if Higgins played all year long, I think he would have been a Pro Bowler. I think if he would have started every game, he would have been a Pro Bowler. And I don't think OBJ would have been a Pro Bowler if he never got hurt. Maybe, but probably not.
It's an interesting point.
Higgins is a stud.
Higgins is a stud, and you'll get no argument from me there. But I'm going to go through this list of 17 really quickly. These are our free agents that are unrestricted free agents. So we have wide receiver Marvin Hall, probably gone. D tackle Vincent Taylor, don't really care for him, probably gone. Wide receiver Kadero Hodge, he played well this season, but I'm still saying you could probably get him for like poor money. So I'll say he'll stay. Brian Allen, don't know who that dude is. Cornerback, apparently, gone. Anthony Fabiano, offensive center, gone. Wide receiver Tywan Taylor, gone.
Mm-hmm.
Linebacker Elijah Lee, actually a really good special teams player. Might keep him for small money. Tedrick Thompson, gone. Cody Parkey, that's going to be one to look out for.
Might draft a kicker, honestly.
That might be the case. I'm
sucks.
gonna say right now that he's maybe on the team next year, but he's fighting for a spot. Rashard Higgins, he's coming. I don't know that he's coming back, but you're offering him money to come back. This is guys that we want back. Guys that I want back. Rashard Higgins, he's probably number one. Larry Ogunjobi, I want him back. Jojo Natson, unfortunately, Jojo was brought in to be a punt returner and kick return specialist, and Dearness Johnson turned into a really good kick returner, and Donovan Peoples-Jones turned into a really good punt returner. He's probably gone. Linebacker Malcolm Smith, gone. Kendall Lamb, probably bringing him back on the fleece.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I'm okay with getting rid of Ogunjobi. Hot take. I think our D-line is going to have a lot of competition, hopefully, after this draft. I think we're going to need linebackers, but we're going to need defensive linemen too. Ogunjobi, nothing special to me. Same thing with Sheldon Richardson. They play about
Whoa.
We had no pressure yesterday.
Dude, Richardson is easily our best defensive tackle, and he's very good.
Yeah, but I'm not shelling out money for him.
But he's not on the list.
But I'm not that enthused with them. We're drafting all defensive players. If you're a defensive player, you better be working your ass off this offseason. We're not drafting anyone on offense, or we're dumb.
I agree. Andrew Sendeo, get him out of here. If I see him back on this team next year, I'm going to lose it.
We need a safety a lot. We need a safety, a couple linebackers, and a couple defensive linemen.
Yeah.
And hopefully Greedy Williams has 2 arms.
I agree with you. Linebacker BJ Goodson. Listen, everyone says that he's like the kind of like culture guy on the defense, but he's not good enough. He's just not good enough.
Slow.
Jacob Phillips, don't know why he didn't play more this entire season because of injuries. I know that was there, but Jacob Phillips, easily a way better linebacker, goes side to side way faster than BJ Goodson. Carl Joseph, I want to bring Carl Joseph back, but I want him to play a like flexed linebacker / like just in the box safety, because he's really good at tackling, and that's that. Terrence Mitchell, I want to bring him back on the fleece because you need depth at the cornerback, and that's that. Kevin Johnson, he's gone. He played.
Sucks.
He didn't play. I thought coming into the season there was a lot of hype about him. He did not play well. And then finally, Olivier Vernon. I would like
get him out.
I would like Olivier to come back, but I don't want to pay him. Yeah, that's my problem. If he's asking for too much, go draft, or I don't know, find someone else in free agency or something.
Sign JJ Watt.
Or yeah, that's I was just about to say. Or
It's
be like the
easy.
Ravens, and be proactive and go out and find the dudes that are on teams that are just selling, like JJ Watt, and offer these dudes apparently a 5th or 6th round pick for a star on the
This
D tackle
offseason's easy.
DN.
As far as I'm concerned, if I'm the GM, this offseason's easy, but I have very hot takes on all areas.
Well, I'm interested. We'll definitely have an episode about it, but I've already taken a look at the free agent list and I've looked into the draft. I'm not excited about either one. If I'm being
No, I think of the
1,000%,
draft, I think the defensive players are bad, and the good ones are going to be gone
yeah,
by the
I
time we get to what are we 20? Do we have a 20? The 26?
26,
Yeah,
26.
we're not getting any good. I want Michael Parsons, but he's going to be gone. He might be there.
No, he's gone. There's no way he falls out of 20.
Maybe we'll take the guy from Clemson.
I want the dude from I don't want him. I want the dude from Notre Dame, but that's just me. But yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, 5th most cap space. I think unless you
spend money.
No, dude. See, this is my thing. Let me just get this out. I have 3 things, and I sent this to my group chat of my dad, my brother, my uncle, and my uncle's friends who are lifetime Browners. 3 things, and this is in order. You sign extensions of core guys. You go out and you draft well. And unfortunately, it doesn't go chronologically like that in the case of how these things will work out, because the free agency happens before the draft. So you'll end up doing drafts or free agency stuff more. But the last thing is go and sign 1 or 2, big name guys. And the only 2 big name guys that I can attest to going out and wanting to actually get are Anthony Harris, who we had a lot of interest in last year, safety from Minnesota, and Levante David from the linebacker from Tampa Bay. And both those dudes are the number 1 to number 2 players at their positions in free agency. So I think the most important thing in the way a lot of teams that are continuing to win right now are through the draft and signing core guys to extensions. So, but that's all I've got for right now on this matter. We'll talk more about that kind of free agent draft and offseason stuff later. But Jeff, what else you got for me?
I totally agree. I mean, I think I don't really have a whole lot. It's just going to be, I feel like there's a lot of ways we could mess this offseason up, which we'll talk about, but there's a lot of ways where we could just keep it simple. Don't do anything too crazy. But I mean, you see this team, like just to leave on an example, like you see this Buffalo's Bills team that goes out and gets Stephon Diggs during the AFC Championship. Like football, it's not gonna, one guy isn't gonna change the whole landscape, but it could. I mean, it could totally enhance if that one guy makes everybody else better. That's what we're looking for. You're not going to draft studs every year. We haven't had great history with the draft, so I'm honestly, I'm not totally optimistic in it, but we have money to spend. We have players to sign, we have extensions and this, that, but just go do it. We have a chance. We're literally right there. We have a window to be in the AFC Championship. We have a window to be in the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you, but that's it for this week, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. We will be uploading this hopefully sometime today or later this week, but thank you all for watching. If you guys could leave us a subscribe, a like, a follow, all that stuff. Jeff's doing a lot of good work for our YouTube page and for our Twitter page, and all that stuff helps. So if you guys wouldn't mind doing that, we'd appreciate it, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.